everybody. I'm Christian Holub for Entertainment Weekly here at New York Comic Con 2019 with the cast and creators of FX's Devs. Thank you guys so much for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome. And you guys had a panel at New York Comic Con earlier today where you teased a little bit about the show, but it's still very shrouded in mystery. So I kind of wanted to start by asking you guys, what was it about Alex's vision that kind of attracted you or excited you about participating in this show?
I think it's an incredible exploration of so many things. I mean, there are very few times you can say it's a show about everything, and it is. It is about the nature of existence. So it's really about. But and then it's also all of these other different genres mashed up into one. But from the first script, where there's mystery and unexpected things, and there's also this underlying discussion of these huge issues. And if we're not going to spend our time on Earth questioning the reality that we live in, it's probably not worthwhile.
Yeah, that's the point, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Did you guys want to share anything, or did she kind of hit it on the head?
Well, you start to talk about things, and you realize it's also unfathomable. But Chekhov has a thing he says in Three Sisters that the doctor says is nature created us for love alone. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason we're here, and whether that means to procreate, to keep people coming, or to really experience another person, mm-hmm. to really share, and find that place, that selfless place. But I find that when I really think about the script, mm-hmm. That's what I see. A lot of people get to a selfless place, that they have different loyalties, mm-hmm. but a lot of people find themselves caring about something else more than, and that's quantum in itself, you know what I mean? But it's very rich. It's very rich, very human and rich, and it's deep, man. It's deep.
All right. Well, speaking of love, kind of, from what I understand, one of the inciting incidents of the show, Sonoya, your character, loses her boyfriend and kind of has questions about that. Can you tease kind of how that sets things in motion?
Yes. So my character, Lily, is in a relationship with Sergei. She thinks is a loving, stable relationship. Very soon on, she discovers that it is not what she thought when he is murdered. Can I say that? I said it.
Too late.
I said it live. Shit. No, I think
no,
it's fine.
that's in the log line.
Yeah. Yes. And then it is the way in which Lily deals with this situation, the unusual action she takes, which propels the story forward.
Awesome, and then kind of leads her, or her investigation circles around this tech company, Amaya, in San Francisco. What can you guys kind of tease about the nature of that company or your characters' connections to it?
I play Katie, who works in the devs department of the company, and Alex, do you want to speak to what we're
doing great.
Great, thanks so much. So it's all about quantum computing, which are incredibly powerful machines that it goes beyond exponentially expands the computing power. So it's a very powerful machine, and the people in the devs department therefore have a lot at stake in the development of the crazy cool machine.
Awesome. And for just, anybody who's watching who's maybe a little tech illiterate, can you go into what devs means and what devs are?
It's the development program at the company. So it's this sort of secretive invention place, and nobody else in the company is quite aware of what is going on in this sort of more secretive environment, and the stuff that's going on is pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess, obviously we have some big tech companies based in San Francisco in our real life, but what is kind of different about the world of the show? Like, how far removed or ahead of it is it from, kind of our reality, would you guys say?
3 years?
We never really put a time on it. I mean, it's sort of set now. Mm-hmm. People are driving the same cars and, going to the same shops, eating the same food. It's not set in the distant future. It's sort of set 10 minutes into the future, maybe. Sort of sci-fi Get Out, 10 minutes into the future, something like that.
Or even now.
Right now.
Yeah.
Or 10 minutes ago.
We might find out retroactively that this technology has already been available to us.
All right. And so I guess, yeah, you know, obviously want to keep some secret for the show to launch, but how would you guys kind of tease what you're most excited for people to kind of see from your characters and from the show?
Sex and violence.
Yeah, sex and violence. Sex and violence are thrilling. We have a lot of it, of the violence and the sex, which is actually true. It's this amazing mix. I mean, it's what I was saying of when I say it has everything, it's about everything. It also has everything in it. It is a tech thriller. It's a love story.
It's a musical.
It's a musical. It's everything.
It's everything.
It's also yeah. No, it takes in all this science, makes it really interesting. It's a story about humanity and all of these other things. And it also looks so cool and sounds so cool. The music is thrilling. It was like we just watched episodes 1 and 2.
Who was responsible for those things? I mean, Rob Hardy and
Me.
then me. But who did the music? Can you? What's the name?
The music is Jeff Barrow and Ben Salisbury, and these guys called the Insects. Jeff and Ben did the music for Ex Machina and Annihilation, so people who've seen those films maybe get something of what they're about. And there's also these two guys, Bob and Tim, called the Insects, and they also present some really beautiful cues. The music's knockout.
I also think too, and it's been touched on, but this, as much as there is so much tech involved in the storytelling and in the world in which the story is told, there is also, as Stephen touched on, it ultimately just boils down to, it's a story about relationships, it's a story about love, it's a story about human interaction and what drives us individually and as a group, or determinism as a concept, but that's merely, at least how I understood it, was the context within which the stories that we are all familiar with and that we resonate with is being told.
It's also about loneliness, I think, and isolation.
Only for your character.
Yeah, for Ken.
Everybody else has friends.
Yeah,
I just booed up, but yeah, Ken's just alone.
All right.
I don't feel bad
I was
for the
also
guy.
thinking about, I don't hear very well. What's going on over there?
All right. Well, on that note, thank you guys so much for coming, and can't wait to see Devs when it launches on FX. And stay tuned to EW for continuing coverage of New York Comic Con 2019.